Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Yes, respected friends, happiness, delight, it is every day to assemble to do our daily practice of studying Shastras, which when done for a long time, with bhakti, with shraddha, with ekagrata, with ichha, certainly it's going to give the necessary required result of knowledge and conviction to walk spiritual path in us. It should have not taken so much time, but it is taking because the life which we are in, the world which we are in, the nature which we have, all of that is also continuously working as an obstruction. But then our Purushartha of these regular classes, when continued, will have definitely one day the effect overpowering all our non-positivities. With that Bhakti Shraddha only, we are here every day. Let us through these efforts invoke the grace of Parabrahma Ishvara Jaganmata Devata Gana Guru Gana Shastra Gana. Let our Vyaktitvas of Lokasevaka Dharmastapaka Viragi Bhakta Shishya Mumukshu Jignasu Shrota Sadhaka Parishrami Prerita Prashanta Gambhira Samskrita Bhasha Gnata Guru se Upasakaha Daiva Upasakaha Mananakarta Nididhyasanakarta Anubhavi and Nishtita in the Anubhava. These Vyaktitvas get unfolded. Let us not only utter the words but consciously work towards them. The required knowledge, information, inspiration may we gain continuously through these efforts. At every cost, at all sacrifices, at all the hardships, etc. Lot of efforts required, lot of sacrifices required in this path, and let us be ready to do all of that with joy, taking it as a fulfillment in life, taking it as a blessings in life, taking it as a challenge in life, not as a struggle, not as a compulsion, not as a heavy load. Friends, here we are, Shwethashwathara Upanishad, fourth chapter, last two mantras. We have to study in them. We are praying to the Ishvara to remove all the obstacles and route our path spiritual, and also ask Him not to trouble us or destroy us. Obviously, by imposing the Maya inner and outer. When the prayer is genuine, serious, having tested us sufficiently, definitely the Ishvara Shakti will remove the effect of its Maya on us. Thereafter, for us, everything will be very spashta, very clear. The goal, the means, all of that is so jovial, joyful. So, yes, we deserve all punishments, all curses, all exposures to dukkha with all our negativities done so far. But yet, O Lord, you have all kindness to forgive us. है ना? Like Tulsi Ramayana, we saw the Guru telling to Lord Shiva, Tava Maya Vasa Jiva Jada, है ना? Firata Bulana Santata. So because of your Maya only, forgetting you, the Jivas are wandering here and there, doing wrong things. So it is you who has to not show anger. Krodhana Kariya, same here also. So don't punish us. That beautiful required prayer to the Samashti, because Vyashti we are always with our selfishness are in loggerheads and fighting with the total only. In that, knowingly, unknowingly, we are causing harm only to the functioning of the Samashti. Every jiva that way in his stage of immaturity causes harm only to the Samashti. That is why he is continuously punished. Only rare few ones in their maturity, having discovered that they are the part of the total, do their job of Swadharma in catering to the needs of the total. They are safe. They are taken care of by the total. Not in one or two things, but in everything. We can't say that in these few things I am committed to the total, but in other things I am selfish. ऐसा नहीं चलता. सारा जीवन ही बाह्य का हमारा समष्टि के लिए अर्पित होना चाहिए. बचा अंतरंग जीवन, that should be for the recognition of the truth. This is the clear, highest understanding. When we are convinced about it and we are only engaged in it, then we are safe. So, this beautiful prayer will be there in the two mantras. We will be studying them. Before that, our Veda Parayanam, common sense thought, Mangalacharana Shloka Sankalpa, also our Upanishad mantra Uchcharana. Vedic chanting, Rigveda, Dashama Mandalam. Let us do from the mantra 9 onwards. 9, we can do 10, then we can do 11, and if the 12th is small, that also. 9, 10, 11, let us do by Lord's grace. Om Atha Veda Parayanam Rigvedaha Dashama Mandalam Navamonuvakadarabhyam Om. These are all Agamarshana mantras, Punyaha Vachana mantras. Wherever the yajna happens, you can listen these mantras. Om Apohishthamayo Bhuvastana Urje Dadhatana Mahiranaya Chakshase Yova Shivatamora Sastasya Vajayatehana Ushatiriva Mataraha Tasmaram Gamamavo Yasya Kshayaya Jinvata Apo Janayatha Chanaha Shanno Devi Ravishtaya Apo Bhavantu Pitaye संयोरविस्रवन्तु नः ईशानावार्याणां क्षयन्तीश्चर्षणीनाम् अपोयाचामि भेषजम् अप्सु मे सोमो अब्रवीदन्तर्विश्वानि भेषजा अग्निं च विश्वशम्भुवम् आपः प्रणीतभेषजं वरूतं तन्वे मम द्योक्षसूर्यं दृशे इदमापः प्रवहत यत्किञ्च दुरितं मयि यद्वाहमभिदुद्रोह यद्वा शेव उतानृतम् आपो अद्यान्वचारिषं रसेन समगन् स्महि पयस्वानग्न आगहेतं मासं सृज वर्चसा. 10th one. Om Chitsakayam Sakhyapavrutyam Tirah Puruchidarnavam Jaganvan Piturnapatamadadhita Veda Atikshami Pratarandi Dhyanaha Nate Sakha Sakhyam Vashtyetat Salakshma Yadvishurupa Bhavati Mahasputra So Asurasya Veera Divo Dhartara Urviya Parikhyan उशन्ति घाते अमृता च एतदेकस्य चित्यजसं मर्त्यस्य निते मनो मनसि धायस्मे जन्युः पतिस्तन्वमाविवेश्याः न यत्पुरा चक्रुमा कद्दनूनमृता वदन्तो अनृतन्नृपेम गन्धर्वो अप्स्वाप्या चयोषासा नो नाभिः परमं जुमितन्नौ जामितन्नौ गर्भेनुनौ जनिता दम्पती कर्देवस्त्वष्टा सविता विश्वरूपः न कीरस्य प्रमिनन्ति वृता निवेदनावस्य पृथिवी उत द्यौः को अस्य वेद प्रथमस्याह्नः क इन्ददर्शक इह प्रवोचद बृहन्मित्रस्य वरुणस्य धाम कदुब्रव अहनो वीच्यान्ड्रोन यमस्य मायम्यं काम आगस्समाने योनौ सहशेयाय जायेव पत्ये तन्वं मृरित्यां विचिद्गृहे वरत्येव चक्रा न तिष्ठन्ति न निमिषन्त्येते देवानां स्वशह्ये चरन्ति अन्येन मदाहनो याहि तूयन्ते न विबृह रथ्येव चक्रा रात्रिभिरस्मा अहभिर्दशस्येत् सूर्यस्य चक्षुर्मुहुर्मुनिमीयात् दिवा पृथिव्या मिथुना सबन्धो यमीर्यमस्य विब्रूयादजामे आघाता गच्छानुत्तरा युगानि यत्र जामयः कृणवन्न जामि उपबर्ब्रूहि वृषभाय बाहुमन्यमिच्छस्व सुभगे पतिं मत किं भ्राता सद्यनाथं भवाति किमु स्वसायन्निवृत्तिर्निगच्छाद् काममूता बह्वे तद्रपामि तन्वा मे तन्वं सम्पिपृग्धि न वाहुते तन्वा तन्वं सम्पृच्छ्यां पापमाहुर्यः स्वसारन्निगच्छात् अन्येन मत्प्रमुदः कल्पयस्व न ते भ्राता सुभगे वश्चेदद बतो बतासि यमनैव ते मनो हृदयं चाविदाम अन्या किल त्वां कक्षेव युक्तं परिष्वजाते लिबुजेव वृक्षम् अन्यमूषु त्वं यम्यस्य उत्त्वां परिष्वजाते लिबुजेव वृक्षम् तस्य वा त्वं मन इच्छासवातवादा कृणुष्व संविदं सुभद्राम् 11th one वृषा वृष्णे दुदुहे दोहसा दिवः पयांसि यह्वो अदितेरदाभ्यः विश्वं सवेदवरुणो यथा धिया स यज्ञियो यजतो यज्ञिया ऋतोन् यज्ञियागं ऋतोन् रपद्गन्धर्वीरप्या च योषणा सदस्य नदस्य नादे परिपातु मे मनः इष्टस्य मध्ये अदितिर्न धातु नो भ्रातो नो ज्येष्ठः प्रथमो विवोचते सो चिन्नुभद्राक्षुमते यशस्वत्युषा उवास मनवे स्वर्वते यदि मुषन्तमुषतामनुक्रतुमग्निं होतारं विदधाय जीजनन् अदत्यं द्रप्सं विभ्वं विचक्षणं विरावरदिशितः शेनो अध्वरे यदि विशो वृणते दस्ममार्या अग्निं होतारमदतिरजायतां सदासि रण्वो यवसेव पुष्यते होत्राभिरग्ने मनुषस्वध्वरः विप्रस्य वायच्च शमान उक्त्यं वाजं सवा उपयासि भूरिभिः उदीरय पितरा जार आवगमिय क्षतिहर्यतो वृत्त इष्यते विवक्तिवह्निः स्वपस्यते मकस्तविष्यते असुरो वेपते मते यस्ते अग्ने सुमतिं मर्तो अक्षत्सहसः सूनो अतिः सप्रशृण्वे इषन्ददानो वहमानो अश्वैरास द्युमा अमवान् भूषतिद्योन् यदग्न एषा समितिर्भवाति देवी देवेषु यजताय जत्र रत्नासयद्विभुजासि स्वधावो भागन्नो अत्र वसुवन्तं वेदात् श्रुधीनो अग्ने सदने सदस्ते युक्ष्मारतममृतस्य द्रवित्नम् आनो वह रोदसी देवपुत्रे माकिर्देवानामपभूरिहस्याः 1 more 12th one द्यावाह क्षामा प्रथमे ऋतेनाभिश्रावे भवत सत्यवाचा देवो यन्मर्तान् निजताय कृण्वन्सि दद्धोता प्रत्यङ्स्वमसुम्यन देवो देवान् परिभूर्ऋतेन वहानो हव्यं प्रथमश्चिकित्वान् धूमकेतुः समिधा रुजिको मन्द्रो होता नित्योवाच यजीयान् स्वावृग्देवस्यामृतं यदि घोरतो जातासो धारयन्त उर्वे विश्वे देवा अनुदत्ते यजुर्गुर्दुहे यदेनि दिव्यं घृतं वाह अर्चामि वां वर्धायापो घृतस्नु द्यावा भूमि शृणुतन् रोदसी मे अहायद्यावो सुनीति यन्मध्वा नो अत्र पितरा शिशीदाम् किं स्विन्नो राजा जगृहे कदस्याति व्रतं चक्रुमा को विवेद मित्रश्चिद्दिश्मा जुहुराणो देवान् श्लोको न यातामपि वाजो अस्ति दुर्मन्तत्रामृतस्य नाम स लक्ष्म्या लक्ष्मा यद्विषरूपा भवाति यमस्य यो मनवते सुमन्त्वग्ने तं रुष्व बाह्य प्रयुच्छन् यस्मिन् देवा विदते मादयन्ते विवस्वतः सदने धारयन्ते सूर्ये ज्योतिरदधुर्वांस्य तून् परिद्योतनिञ्चरतो अजस्रा यस्मिन् देवा मन्मनि सञ्चरन्त्यपीच्येन वयमस्य विद्मा मित्रो नो अत्रादितिरनागान् सविदा देवो वरुणाय वोचत श्रुतीनो अग्ने सदने सदस्ते युक्ष्मा रसममृतस्य द्रवित्नम् आनो वहरोदसी देवपुत्रे माकिर्देवानामपभूरिहस्याः ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. So we have done 12 mantras, 13th onwards tomorrow. Friends, in our today's common sense thought, simple thing it is, very simple, very short. It is always better, best for us to consciously do sankalpas, consciously do the prarthanas, and consciously do our prayatnas, efforts with whatever little, even micro minute abilities we have, rather than being in a lazy mood, rather than being in a dull witted mood, rather than being in a pessimistic mood, rather than waiting for somebody to come and help, rather than waiting for the things to change and everything become convenient. This is how we get cheated in our own selves, by ourselves. Is not we all are always इंतजार कर रहे हैं कोई आएगा कुछ करेगा, या कुछ समय ऐसा बदलेगा, या चलो ठीक है जो हो रहा है होने दो, मैं तो नहीं करूंगा, मेरे से नहीं हो सकता, मैं कर पाऊंगा नहीं. So this is how the continuous non-positive thoughts keep on happening in our lower mind for whatever the reasons. We don't know the reasons. And that's what makes us, with all our abilities, potentialities, still impotent, inefficient, non-performer, therefore never achiever, both in the world outside, so in our Adhyatmikata. From that mood of non-performance and not growth, we have to come out. We have to come into this positive zone and stay there always, wherein we are continuously performing. If we are not performing, we are continuously praying. If we are not praying, we are continuously doing sankalpa. निरंतर संकल्प सत्संकल्प कहते हैं, करते रहना, निरंतर सत प्रार्थनाएं करते रहना है. प्रार्थना, prayer for the world total to cooperate with us, to help us, to the Lord the prayers. And then with whatever small little abilities we may have, like that story of the squirrel in the Lord Rama's making the bridge, वो थोड़ा ही काम कर रहा था, but that's noticed by the Lord. It's not the quantity of the work that was minded by the Lord, which was so micro, but it's the attitude of that squirrel. Remember, For the whole bridge making, the work done by the squirrel is very small, but to the capacity of the squirrel, that itself is maximum. It has done what it could do maximum. Lo, blessed by the Lord. In the same way, our prayatna, never the prayatna shaithilya should happen. प्रयत्न में आखिरी दम तक शिथिलता नहीं होना चाहिए. Reduction and giving up of effort should never happen in our life. The type of personality we have to make ourselves slowly, steadily. So to always invoke the power of infinity, the blessings of infinity, to be able to combat all the negatives, all the enemies, inimical forces, whichever they are, outer and inner, and also get sufficient stamina to do the due to reach the destined goal. The goal which we have decided to reach to that, what performance we have to do with that, whatever the amount of strength, ability, energy is required, the divine should provide. We need two types of energy strengths to defeat the enemies, inner and outer, as well as to be able to do sufficiently to fetch the goal, to reach the goal. So all that energies, powers, when we pray, the divine will send us to some place or give us some suggestions from within or outside or provide some avenues, taking up which we really become powerful enough, sufficient enough. And also the sankalpas. All the time, the sat sankalpas about goal, about wanting to reach the goal, about wanting to do what is required to be done to reach the goal. ये संकल्प निरंतर हमारे अंदर चलते रहना है rather than just lazing out like a stone. So, what type of sankalpa, what type of prarthana, what type of prayatna, nirantara we should do. Few of them. One, you know, let the laziness to the core, whatever I have, should go away completely, because of which I am becoming a non-performer. मेरे अंदर का हर लेवल का तमोगुण पूर्णतया निकल जाए. That is a sankalpa also, that is a prarthana also, that alone again is the prayatna. The sankalpa, the prarthana, the prayatna for the destroying tamoguna to go away from us. See the amount of laziness at every level of our personality we have. That with all the potentialities in us, the abilities in us, the opportunities outside, yet how, because of laziness, we are not doing anything and achieving. At every front, to do so many things that are there, to do and achieve so many things, we have all the potential. We can join politics and give our nation a very good leader in our own form. We can join the economic department of the country and help in developing the economy to the extent that's possible. We can join the defense system. We can join the medical system. We can join social systems of whatever that's the society is requiring. We can aggressively do and make a mark there, bring a change there, bring that positivity. We can do some contribution. But do we do that? Like a buffalo, we sit and sit, eat and sit and watch the TV 24 hours. Watch a third class life it is. What a useless life it is. Is it worth to be called as human being? Tell me what we can't do. When somebody are doing, everybody can do. When everybody can do, then anybody can do. When anybody can do, I can do it. Not nobody. What potentiality we are lacking, Batao? No, we have. And the potentialities keep increasing in any of the field when we start performing. Can't we do that? Do we do that? Why? Because that extreme slumber, extreme laziness, that irresponsibility. One of the most biggest disease you and I as a human beings have is the sense of irresponsibility towards the world, towards ourselves. Very third class personality, because we're not trained in those angles in our education system. They're all there. vividly in all our Shastras. But we are secular, so we should not study Shastra. The sense of irresponsibility, therefore extreme laziness. So the sankalpa, so the prarthana, so the prayatna that let me come out of this chain of tamoguna which is just binding me to not perform. है ना? Even at our own home level, कितना तमोगुण है हमारे घर में. टाइम पे उठते नहीं, खाना नहीं बनाते, घर में मदद नहीं करते. Everything is postponed, procrastinated. We can help our own family, our own friends, our relatives. We can be a poet, we can be an artist, we can be a dramatist, we can be. So we can take an initiative, form a small committee in our own society, take up projects, the cleanliness drive, the vehicle properly parking drive, or the greenery drive, or children education drive, or health or exercise drive, or getting the governmental works done drive, or together pull up the money and do some yajnas, some Ganapati Chaturthis. कितना हम कर सकते हैं? But do we do that? Sit and eat only? Isn't it? Such a laziness, such a lethargy, and so many of the fears inside. There's a tamoguna. So that sankalpa, that prarthana, that prayatna to come out of this sankalpa, to come out of this tamoguna. That's always better than ऐसे इंतजार करते जा. ऐसा नहीं होता लाइफ. जिंदगी, when we are living, the life is expressed as dynamism. The dynamism should be the insignia of our life. Every moment, even our sleep should be dynamic. Not the waking time also is static as we go through. Isn't it? Few people are there, those who are that way performers, because of which the whole world is happening. The things in the world are happening. The show of the world is not happening because of the majority who are sleepy, who are lazy. It's because of few people who are taking up, who are feeling that responsibility everywhere. Few people take responsibility. That's why fellows irresponsible towards religion, towards Sanatan Dharma. बस अपने खुद गर्ज लोग होते हैं. Anyway, so first one is that sankalpa. So too, the sankalpa, the prarthana, as well as prayatna to come out of the rajoguna of distracted in the unwanted activities, the bhoga. That also is the second biggest disease in us. Doing nothing is one disease, and doing the unwanted things is other disease. Meaningless things, destroying ourselves as well as the society. Which are the effects of this Rajoguna? In that also we are there. The Rajoguna of unwanted spending time and energy with unwanted topics, with people at home, with everybody. How much of our Shakti, etc., are wasted in Rajoguna because of so many of the bhogas, so many of the involvements. Is it required? Is it worthy? But are we not spending our time, energy in that? And are now so energyless, powerless that nothing positive can be done now by me. So the sankalpa for it, for the prarthana, and that prayatna also from our side. In the same way, the sankalpa prarthana prayatna for the sattva guna, wherein all the creative, constructive, productive, useful for the world we do and also for ourselves. And in the sattva guna, the most important thing is the sankalpa for the adhyatmika sadhana, adhyatmika pragati, adhyatmika unnati, adhyatmika lakshya siddhi. Just imagine yesterday morning from 8:39 today, 24 hours may. How many times and how much deeply we have done sankalpa and prarthana and prayatna for our spiritual evolution. Consciously, by ourselves, independent. Not because somebody called us, somebody pulled us. And that is only out of some obligation or compulsion we do it. But from within ourselves, have we done it? No, that means that was not the laziness. So instead of that, the sankalpa for the sattva guna, prarthana for the sattva guna. Hey Prabhu, give me such a sattva guna that all the values I possess practically. Give me such sattva guna that all the devotion for you and love for the world I have expressed as seva and worship. Oh Lord, give me such a sattva guna, the calmness, the quietness, the integrity, the shraddha adi, so that I am just with my gurus, studying deeply, pondering deeply over the Tattva Shastras, the Moksha Shastras, the Jnana Shastras, the Upanishad Shastras. कहाँ किया संकल्प करना पड़ता है, अग्रेसिवली संकल्प करना पड़ता है, सो मच लाइक ए चोर, चोरी के लिए कितना वो स्ट्रांग संकल्प करता है कि ही इज रेडी टू टेक एवरी रिस्क देयर. स्कैम करने वाला कितना पावरफुल संकल्प करता होगा कि वो भी इतना भयंकर रिस्क लेता है. दैट ही थिंक्स द पीपल विल नॉट कैच हिम, द गवर्नमेंट विल नॉट कैच हिम. नहीं तो वो लोग कैसे कर पाते हैं वो स्कैम्स. People are doing the crimes, the online scams, they are doing a variety of cheating, they are looting, plundering, कब्जा कर रहे हैं दूसरों की जगह, अनेक अनेक ऐसे दुष्कर्म पाप कर रहे हैं, even murders, etc. See that sankalpa shakti in them, that they are blind to the consequences. संकल्प देखो, अगर बलवान है तो हमको कैसे काम कराता है. If this is so in the negative, it is so in positive also. है ना. Undermining, underestimating all the powerful obstructions, etc., overpoweringly, aggressively, if we have to do our sadhanas, the only way is that much powerful should be our sankalpa and also the prarthana. How can there be weakness in them? करो संकल्प, सारा उपनिषद मुझे बाय हार्ट होना है, उसके भाष्य के साथ बाय हार्ट होना है. एवरी शब्द आई मस्ट डाइजेस्ट and I must live that knowledge. Let Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Itihasa express through me. Let the Rishi cult express through me. Let me the messenger of all that. And let me the one to spread all this glorious Adhyatmikata. करो संकल्प, बैठे रहते हैं ऐसे पुतु गोचु. Only negative संकल्प. What's negative संकल्प? I cannot do this, I cannot do this, I am good for nothing, I am useless fellow. Every time you say that, from ऊपर तथास्तु देवता तथास्तु कहते जा रहे, and we are continuing like that. Is that the way? शर्म नहीं आता हमको? We should think. Not I am saying or anybody is saying. Instead of that, positive sankalpa, positive prarthana. Lord, make me your instrument. Make me a one who spreads the dharma, the vyavaharik dharma, the pradibhasik dharma, the adhyatmik sanatana dharma, the paravartik dharma का मैं आपके लिए इंस्ट्रूमेंट बनूं. Isn't it? डरते रहते हैं, भगवान डोंट यूज मी, गवर्नमेंट डोंट यूज मी, and nobody should use me for their work, and I want to use the word that also for the bhog. See that what a lowest level of immature, never grown mind intellect. कोई पढ़ा नहीं रहे हमको कैसे उत्तम संकल्प होना है, कैसे उत्तम प्रार्थना होनी है, कैसे अग्रेसिव प्रयत्न होना है. Nobody is telling. There are some people to tell, but we have sufficient arrogance not to go to anyone, not to listen from anyone. We have sufficient negative wisdom to justify our own life. And we misuse even shastras, etc. स्वामी शास्त्र में लिखा है कलयुग ऐसे ही होता है. अरे भाई कलयुग ऐसा होता है लिखा है, that's because of people like you who make the yuga. How many ways we are. So therefore that sankalpa and prarthana prayatna any day is nobler than being reckless, being negligent, careless, being irresponsible for ourselves. And we have the responsibility. The entire universe, entire globe, इतना बड़ा हमारा सोचने का ताकत होना चाहिए. My presence, my performance at all levels should add beauty, positivity for the entire happening and functioning of the whole cosmos, whole universe. Imagine if everyone thinks like that, feels like that, prays like that, gathers resources for that, plans like that, and executes. Can there be any negativity? Can there be any misery? Should it not be spread everywhere, this thought? That let us come together, be a synergy, work together for the positivity of the entire globe, entire universe, not for the negativity. हमको ये थॉट्स को स्प्रेड करना पड़ता है. जितना करो उतना इसका फायदा है. नहीं करो तो then the negative thoughts which are spread every moment by so many ignorant selfish people. भोगी लोग निरंतर जो संकल्प करते हैं ना वो नेगेटिव होता है. Because wherever there is bhoga, there is destruction. And their sankalpas are so powerful. That's why the nature is destroyed, outer, the beautiful health destroyed, mind destroyed, intellect destroyed. The opportunity called human life is also destroyed at individual level and total level because of the sankalpa and prayatna by all the negative people. They don't know that what they are doing is negative. They don't have that ignorance, that wisdom, that understanding. अभी अभी पशु की योनि से आए हैं, ऐसा बिहेव करते. So to combat that, to defeat those negativities, should not the positive ones be powerful enough? Now imagine all the elderly people, those who cannot move physically, आराम से कुर्सी में बैठकर, if they go on sending these positive vibes, positive prayers, positive thoughts, positive sankalpas, that these sankalpas have tremendous power. In fact, everything grows before it got into the gross manifestation. It was the subtle sankalpa only. है कि नहीं? The 100-storied building, if you see, which is mind blowing. यार कैसा खड़ा है ये? 100-storied building with 500 apartments or flats in it, with all the facilities in it. You see in front of your eyes, stuck with wonderment. But was it not the sankalpa before it got grossly manifested? In today's world, the amusements, the wonderments which we see in all fields of construction, fields of science and technology, medicine, हर जगह पे कितना अजूबे दिख रहे हैं हमको, wonders everywhere. But are they not outcomes of the sankalpa first? Think about it. Power of sankalpa dekh lo. So let us join hands, join minds in doing the positive sankalpas, in doing positive prayers together. लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु सर्वे सुजनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे सुजनाः सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे सुजनाः भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् सुजनाः दुःखम् आपनुयात्. Keep doing this sankalpa, keep doing prarthana, and practically also. Bina practically doing also, our prarthana and sankalpa are not honest. Doing practically, but prayer we are not doing, then we are isolating, not taking the help of the total. Doing prarthana, doing effort, but it cannot be effective without the first thing called as sankalpa. The sankalpa by ourselves, the prarthana to the total, the Lord, and the prayatna. They are complementary to each other. In doing anything good, in doing anything bad. Bad ke liye we can pray. There are many people who do prarthana for the negative. Their own common religion ही है. They do only prayer for the destruction of others. Third class fellows and their philosophy. And Lord, what to do? When the Ravanasura is ready to cut his head and offer, what to do out of Majburi? The Lord has to come and bless him. And that dushta fellow will rule the world for thousands of years with all his destruction. What to do? The power of prayer is like that. Negative को भी भगवान bless करते. So we have to pray more positively so that our prayer is powerful. The Lord blesses us. As means the world. Pray करो, प्रार्थना करो, संकल्प करो, दिन ब दिन उसी में रहना. That in that only fulfillment. How do we find fulfillment in laziness? How are we finding that joy in our irresponsible indulgence in bhoga? Can there be any concept of bhoga at all in an individual if he is wise, if he is worthy calling as human being? What is there in that such a lower life? Think about it. Catering to the infatuation of the senses and all. That's not a dignified life. No, I have to contribute to the world's positivity. That when that higher is possible, that higher alone we have to think about. Higher alone we have to do. If that were not possible, then it could have been भोगी. अब बस करते रहो. जब उत्तम चीज करने को संभावना है, तो हमें उसे ही करना है ना, not the lower ones. So that every one of us that way involve all the time in these three things. When this way we do, then the responses will come. Then we can be the beginners to create a beautiful world around us. You know, if you take the beautiful some countries, size में छोटा हो बड़ा हो, whether they are Singapore's, whether they are Hong Kong's, whether there are so many. If there's a neatness, there's a cleanliness, if there's an order, discipline. See the country Singapore, है तो छोटा, कि see the amount of discipline they follow. Each of them take that as sankalpa and responsibility. That's why that those places are worthy of watching, and we go there, isn't it? Let's make our nation, the entire globe, like that. Even from the other planets, the aliens called as devatas, rishis from other planets should wish to come and stay here. Not that यहाँ के भी लोग भाग के जाना चाहते हैं जो अच्छे अच्छे लोग, isn't it? So three things: sankalpa, prarthana, and prayatna. And in each of them, the variety of plannings, etc., that goes without saying. And the other thing which goes without saying every day is what? While doing this, it is not a red carpet welcome. It is not a smooth sailing. There will be variety of inner and outer opposite forces attacking us, which are already functional, which were already triggered long back. So what? हम नहीं डरेंगे. हम करते जाएंगे, करते जाएंगे. See, the subtlest things in us, that I'll keep on doing good in spite of whatever obstructions come. Such thoughts should become deeply rooted in us. Only then we can be performers, only then we can be the achievers. First for the world, then for our own selves, and for ourselves only spiritual. Rather, even for the world, let's contribute spiritually, because in that only everything is included. We are going to see in our Gita itself, when Bhagavan says in around 45th or 46th shloka, Yavan Artha Udapane Sarvata Samprutodake. So, concluding thought, in spirituality, if we can add to the world, then we have done the best. बाकी सब जो वेदांत हम पढ़ रहे, when we know everything else is temporary, we need not serve the world in those things. You and I, especially, particularly, cater to the department of spirituality. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om 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 Sahana Vavadu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः. ओम यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वम् ओम निधये सर्वविद्यानाम् ओम शंकरं शंकराचार्यम् ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् ओम जगतीमवितुं कलिताकृतयो ओम ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदः आचार्येभ्यो नमः. संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्ष कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातन धर्म से विश्वव्याप्ति विश्वाध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थम सनातन धर्म संस्थापकानां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थम श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिव कृष्णादि समस्त मंदिरादीनां पुनरवाप्ति तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रु विघ्न शास्त्र समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक वैदिक हिंदव संस्कृतेः धर्म मोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां भारतवर्षे विश्वे च सुसंप्रतिष्ठावाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पित सत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयः तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थं कृष्णयजुर्वेदीय श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदः आद्यशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं मोक्षार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ओम नित्यानन्दं निराधारं निखिलाधारम् अव्ययम् निगमाद्यगतं नित्यं नीलकण्ठं नमाम्यहम्। पारायणार्थे तृतीयोऽध्यायः। We are doing the Parayanam of Tritiya Adhyaya. Let us do from 11 to 15 today. Om Sarvanana Shirogrivaha Sarvabhutaguhashayah Sarvavyapi Sabhagavan Tasmat Sarvagata Shivaha Mahan Prabhurvai Purushaha Sattvasesha Pravartakaha Sunirmalam Imam Praptim Ishano Jyotiravyayaha Angushtamatra Purushottaratma Sada Jananam Hridaye Sannivishtaha हृदामन्वीषो मनसाभिक्लुप्तः य एतद्विदुरमृतास्ते भवन्ते सहस्रशीर्षा पुरुषः सहस्राक्षः सहस्रपात् स भूमिं विश्वतो वृत्वा अत्यतिष्ठद्दशाङ्गुलम् पुरुष एवेदगं सर्वं यद्भूतं यच्च भव्यम् उतामृतत्वस्य ईशानः यद् अन्नेन अतिरोहति. Friends, in the fourth chapter Adhyanam, we have done the thorough study of last few mantras, especially the fourth chapter के शुरू से भी लेकर 10वां मंत्र के बाद तो और गंभीर थे. In the class, at least we tried our best to justify the study with the Bhashya, the mantra. There is a satisfaction. Still, much more efforts are due in the form of repeated study, repeated contemplation, gaining the knowledge, retaining that knowledge, living that knowledge. And these are the next higher steps we have to have the courage and conviction to take up. Let us do them also, which are subjective. Now, yesterday's mantra में मरण हेतु अविद्या देहे तत्व ज्ञानाग्निना दग्धत्वात् पुनः देहांतरम न भजन्ति इत्यर्थः. So very sublime indicative knowledge that it's difficult to grasp, but if we are attentive, we can. All the dukkha is mainly because of change and death. Okay. Change and death happen in what? In the phenomenal world of upadis, in the world of vastus which are upanamatma. But on the highest contemplation, what we discover is there are two things always in each thing. One is the changeless substratum, second is be attentive. The changeful name and form with mere kalpana. Like, what is the chair in a chair? If you see in a wooden chair, what is the chair in a chair bereft of the wood? Just give a moment's thinking, contemplation. Is not chair only a form? To that form is not chair a name given? But does that form has any substantial reality of its own? Without its adhisthana, in this case the wood, therefore is not the form only a kalpana without any matter in it. Therefore, if the form itself is a kalpana without any substance, how can the name of it is a substance? Think about it. Therefore, the whole world of names and forms are nothing but kalpana. And in them only the Janma Maranadi is happening. And that kalpana is always having the substratum, the adhisthana. The Adhisthana is Paramatma Tattva. The Paramatma Tattva has no Janma Maranadi. About that Janma Marana Rahita Paramatma Tattva, we don't have the Jnanam. That's called Avidya. Because of that only, the Kalpita are taken as real, in which the Janma Maranadi are happening. When the Kalpita itself is unreal, how can the Janma Marana be real? But that Kalpita Rupanama we are taking real as real. Therefore, the Janma Marana also are taken by us as real. And therefore, we are really suffering as if. The contradiction in the words deliberately said. I really suffer kar rahe as if. Like I really suffered in the dream as if. Why as if? Because dream is not real. When I wake up, the whole dream drama is gone. है ना एक्सीडेंट हो गया मानो ड्रीम में देन खून बह रहा है दर्द हो रहा है हॉस्पिटल ले गए मुझे टांके लग रहे हैं वहां हाउ मच सफरिंग आई डू आई सफर ना बट सडनली व्हेन आई वेक अप वेयर इज द ड्रीम एक्सीडेंट ड्रीम बॉडी ड्रीम खून बहना ड्रीम का चोट बोन्स टूट गए हैं दे आर ऑल कल्पित as much that is kalpita so much is all this but we don't know the reality. Therefore, we took the superimposed Rupanama as real, in which continuously the changes and deaths are happening. Change and death is, be attentive, the definite nature of the superimposed Rupanama, which is Jagat, which we take as real. ये बता रहे यहाँ मरण हेतु अविद्यादेहे आई एक्सप्लेन सो फार दिस सेंटेंस the hetu, the karana for the marana is avidya. Avidya is ignorance. About what? The marana adirahita paramatma. How it is affecting? On which the rupa nama are projected, which are taken as real, and in them there is janma marana. And we think they are real. Like a cinema hero or a heroine or anybody. They themselves are projected. Then how do you take their actions, their sukha dukkha, and finally their death as real? है ना 30 साल पहले मूवी में हीरो हीरोइन मर गए दे स्टिल देयर एक्टिंग इन सो मेनी मूवीज लेटर ऑन उसी ने हुए मरे हुए थे वो सो मरणादि हेतो हो अविद्यादे है तत्व ज्ञान अग्निना दग्धत्वात् isn't it in the fire of the jnana about the tattva the substrate of the reality that is avidya adi which are the hetu for maranadi they are burnt away therefore punah dehantaram navajanti because of this ignorance ignorance born sankalpa and vasanas they are burnt away which were the cause for obtaining newer and newer bodies to such jivan mukta there are no more shariradi prapti that is the meaning of maranadi sharira rahita amrutatva sthiti the explanation is to the last word evam viduhu amrutaha te bhavanti whoever know this Brahman, the Atman, the Self in this way, they amrutaha bhavanti means they experience their immortal self. Right now, though we are the immortal self, aham brahma eva parijnanat, aham eva param brahma in the evening class. Even though right now also we are parabrahma, yet we are not cognizing it. Then on the Parabrahma, these upadhis are superimposed. This we are not only cognizing, but giving reality and identifying with it. Therefore, whatever Janma Varana that are happening to it, we feel they are to us. And there we are suffering. That identification. Har jagah wahi. Like the mother suffers when the child is wounded or fevered. उसको मदर को कुछ नहीं हो रहा, but her identity with the son or the child. Or the man suffers when his scooter gets broken or the car. उनको कुछ नहीं हुआ, but he is identified with the car or scooter. Isn't it? These are all examples for us to drive that point into us, the knowledge into us. Okay. Janam maranadi hetoho avidyadehe tattva jnanagnina dagdhatvad Punaha dehantaram navajanti. Again, they are not subject to the compelling entry into dehadi tada. So feel that whole knowledge. Because of lack of the knowledge that I am Brahman, that is called as ignorance, not knowing I am Brahman. That on this Brahman only, which is me, the upadhis are kalpita and given satyata, and then we take ourselves with that identified, then all the kalpitopadhi mein hone wale janma marana ityadi, I am suffering. Feel that whole thing again and again, again and again. Yes, it is very subtle. It is difficult to begin with. But then, when this knowledge is pakka and we reject our identity with the upadhis and we identify with the Janmadhirahita Brahma Tattva, the result also is so spectacular, isn't it? So beautiful. अमृतत्व की प्राप्ति देने वाला इस साधना को करने में क्यों हमें हेजिटेशन होना है? See, we told you this thing 7 days back, isn't it? What is it? The self with all its difficulties to achieve. When we keep on trying, one day we'll achieve it. And that achievement is once for all. And it is infinite bliss, total freedom. Anything other than the self, be attentive. With all our efforts, honest, fair, or foul, crooked, whatever it may be attentive. Everything other than the self, even after achieving them, they are not achieved. Underline this point. Because they are not real, they are perishable. पाकर भी खोना है सब कुछ चीजें, बाकी सारे पाकर भी खोना ही है. Anything other than the self, we are only gaining to lose it. Because when you gain it, it will be lost because it is not real. अब ये अकल अगर हमारा खुल गया तो you will not go for that which will leave you and go. That is the meaning of nirvedamaya na asti akritah kritena. That's the meaning of true vairagya. The true vairagya is the highest wisdom. What is it? That how can I go for that which is going to go away from me? I will go for that which never goes away from me. And the only one thing which never goes away from me is my own self. Therefore, discover the self, abide in the self, the Brahman, the Atman, the reality. See, if you pause, if you contemplate on these sublime words, sentences of the rishis of yore and the Bhashyakaras, see the deep understandings that come to us. But we have to take up that responsibility, that charge, that challenge, and we have to put those honest efforts, unbiased efforts, not getting affected by our own whims and fancies of the mind and the misguidances of the people around. People around are very powerful sentimentally, very powerful emotionally, very powerful dominating us, commanding us, being sarcastic with us. With all those things, what they try to do is demoralize our spiritual pursuit. Because they don't want to do it, they are jealous of us, so they use all their weapons to distract us. Defeating all of them, when we show our regularity, our sincerity in being regular, etc., then these sublime knowledges start revealing to us. And mind you, all these sublime things in the beginning just reveal and disappear. It is we have to seek them again and again, again and again, again and again, till they become natural and obvious to us. ये अपने हाथ में होता है संतों. So that's the meaning of Amruta Bhavanti, the earlier mantra. न सन्दृशे तिष्ठति रूपमस्य न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनं हृदा हृदिस्थं मनसाय एनम् एवं विदुः अमृताः ते भवन्ति. What a beautiful, sweetest guidance mantra meaning. ऐसे मोक्ष का आनंद देने वाले इन शास्त्रों को, इन मंत्रों को, इन अर्थों को, इन सत्संगों को नेग्लेक्ट करने वाला इतना, क्या कहते हैं ना, दिल हमारा कैसा बना? हाउ डिड वी गेट सच ए हार्श एंड बिटर हार्ट To dislike, disrespect, discard, neglect our Shastras, our Jnanam, our Gurus, the Satsanga, the advice given by them, ऐसी अच्छे अच्छे मीठे मीठे चीजों को डिस्कार्ड करने का कड़वापन हमारे अंदर क्यों आया देख लो भैया. And then हर every moment, the ones which are giving burden to our life, misery to us, heaviness to us, load to us, that type of worldly life, samsara life, how we are liking it? अमृत को छोड़कर how we are consuming poison, है ना? Very healthy diet छोड़कर how we are going for the junk food. Should we not pause and think? Think about it, Papa. Already it's delayed. Long back we should have contemplated. We should have rechanged, restarted. What to say? Reset our life. अब तक कर कर पहुंच भी जाना चाहिए था. Never mind, at least now. What do you mean by what is the meaning is be regular, not only into the classes, also serious, sincere, in-depth study of these Upanishad mantras and grasp the deep knowledge given. Own it, use it, rise above all the samsara by one's own choice and efforts. Right? Now let's go to the last two mantras. Parameshwar ka stavan. In the mantra 21, content is Tavana Stuti of Parameshwara. Right? Now the Sambandha Bhashya, Mantrartha and Mantra Bhashya. Sambandha Bhashya. Ki idanim is now, Tat Prasadat Eva, Tat means of that Paramatma. Prasadat means Prasannata, therefore Anugraha. So only by the kindness and blessings and anugraha of the Tat, the Lord, the Ishvara alone, Ishta Prapti, then Anishta Pariharav, the obtainment of what we love or like, and the removal of what we dislike. Ishta Prapti, Anishta Parihara. दो शब्दों को पकड़ो. So both are possible only by the prasad of the Ishvara. This is the one from where, or from Bhagavan Krishna's Gita, this Sambandha Bhashya Sri Adi Shankara has taken. And in the 18th chapter of Gita, you see that? Ishvaraha Sarvabhutanam Hrit Deshe Arjuna Tishtati. So in the heart of all the Ishvara is there. Doing what? Brahmayan Sarvabhutani Yantrarudhani Maya. So all the beings who are on the yantra of the karma phala, Brahmayan is moving them from one world to the other. Okay, then what we have to do with that Ishvara? Next mantra. Tameva Sharanam Gaccha. Exclusively to him only you surrender. And how that surrender to be? Should be Sarva Bhavena. If you are an Indian, Bharata. Tameva Sharanam Gaccha Sarva Bhavena Bharata. If that way, when I surrender to that Ishvara, what's the outcome? What's the result? See this one. Tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsasi shashvatam. To shashvatam sthanam param shantim tat prasadat prapsasi. It's only by the prasada, prasannata, anugraha of that Ishvara that the final abode is reached. Whether it is Artha Purushartha, whether it is Kama Purushartha, which we should not seek, or the Dharma Purushartha or the Moksha, all of them are by the prasada of the Paramatma only. That's why he says, Tat prasadat eva ishta praptihi anishta pariharaha. Iti matva, having thought over and understood it, tameva parameshwaram, to that Parameshwara alone prarthayate, is being praised or requested mantra dvayena, by the two mantras. So the Shruti Mata, the Shwethashwathara Rishi, in these last two mantras of this fourth chapter, is doing and training us or guiding us to do the prarthana to that Parameshwara, because of his prasad only we will have both these things of Ishta Prapti and Anishta Parihara. For a worldly person, the Ishta Prapti is the Vaishika Sukha, Anishta is the Dukkha Ityadi, uska Parihara. And for you and I spiritual people, the Ishta Prapti is Brahmanubhuti, the Anishta is Samsara. Uska mein Parihara hona. So let us do the Prarthana. See, today our common sense thought, Sankalpa and Prarthana and Prayatna, topic may be Prarthana aa gaya ki nahi. Even though we are studying the Upanishad, the Brahma Vidya. In the very Upanishadic literature, in other places, it is told, why do you worship the Lord as if he is somebody other than you and become a slave to him? Don't insult yourself. You will become a kripana if you do upasana to him, and the devatas will make a slave out of you. In the evening class of Brahmanu Chintanam, in the 6th or 7th mantra, this topic comes. But whenever such discussions happen, that context is different. And whenever these type of topics come, यहाँ का context different है. So the context and purpose and utility को मन में रखकर हमको शब्दों को मंत्रों को समझना है. All that maturity comes when we, for a long period of time, unbiased way, while listening to the Guru and study the Shastras. तब ये मेच्योरिटी आती है कि कौन सी चीज किस समय क्यों कहा. यही चीज दूसरी जगह उल्टा अलग कहते हैं. Context is different, therefore they appear to be contradictory. Isn't it? So whenever we are at the Upadhi level, the Samishti Upadhi Adhishtata is very much there. And he is dynamic, he is continuous, he is functional. So therefore, in his dynamic functionality, he is always ready to bless us. Therefore, invoke him through prarthana. It works. Just because we are talking about Ekamevadvayam Brahmane Nanasti Kinchana, let us not underestimate the utility and need and importance of the prarthanas. At this level of our sadhana kala, the sahayata from the Guru of Satsanga, the sahayata from the Ishvara of the Anugraha, they are all necessary. That's why that Upanishad which talks about Brahman alone starts with the prarthana only. Swastina Indro Vruddhashravaha, Swastinaha Posha Vishwavedaha. Isn't it? Don't we see them? Therefore, the Vedas, which are a final authority for our knowledge and practice, themselves are recommending authentically the need of prarthana. Understood? But ultimately, through this prarthana, when we become qualified and reach out to Ekamevadvaya Brahma, it is to protect the dignity and respect of that Ekamevadvaya Brahma. At that highest level, we reject the Upasya Upasaka Sambandha. Because yesterday we saw in one of the classes that when I worship the Lord as other than me, it's not I am doing any favor to the Lord, rather I am insulting him by limiting him. Because if I exist other than Paramatma, Paramatma's infinitude is disturbed. Because there is somebody other than Lord, therefore Lord is no more infinite. Because in infinite there cannot be anything other than it, there cannot be any Dvaita. तो वहां उस अद्वैत ब्रह्म के गरिमा को रखने के लिए वहां हम कहते हैं देयर इज नो उपासक उपास्य. But at the sadhana kala, other than the upasana to Ishvara, there is no way to get out of the inner and outer maya. Devi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratya mam eva ye prapadyante maya metam taranti. That system is there and it is functional and it is working and it worked for millions. Whoever have prayed, they got blessed. अब उसको use करो. Just because you do the Vedanta Advaita Brahma, why you become ruthlessly rigid in not utilizing these things, which are the only way at this level? There are some Vedantins. They think they are pakkad Vedantins, therefore they give up the Karma Yogas, the Yogas, the Bhakti, the Sadhana, and they keep on struggling only. Because they are not able to transcend their own upadhis. Those upadhi which are made out of Maya are transcended only by the samashti upadhis Swami called as Ishwar. वो क्लिक नहीं होता उनको. That's why the Advaita Sthapana doing Vedavyasas, Adi Shankaras, the great Puja Gurudevs, all of them, they have recommended bhakti at that level. In fact, in Vivek Chudhamani to Moksha Sadhana Samagriyam Bhakti Reva Gariyasi, he says. After telling Sadhana Chatushte Sampada, then he says, more powerful than all of that is bhakti. Like in yoga also, अभ्यास वैराग्य अभ्यम तन्निरोध करके इतना एक्सप्लेन करके फाइनली कहते हैं इफ यू कैन नॉट डू द निरोध ऑफ योर वृत्ति चित्त विद अभ्यास वैराग्य देयर इज एन अल्टरनेटिव व्हाट्स दैट ईश्वर प्रणिधानाद्वा surrender to Ishvara, then also you can transcend. You can do the nirodha of your chitta vrittis so that you can identify with yourself. So what we are saying is the prarthana to the Lord to invoke His blessings at our this present level of tadatmya with the upadhi and succumb to the outer maya, very essential. If somebody is in that highest state of Aham Brahmasmi, he may say that now I don't need any prarthanas because I reached out. But he should not say that to others also the prarthana is not required. That's how doing that mistake at that level, many great Mahatmas misguide others. They guide the highly qualified 5% of people and they misguide the 95%. There are many Atmanubhava Prapta Mahatmas in our country. And what they spoke was the absolute truth, but cannot be spoken in the public. That is for some exclusive students. If that is spoken for the public, which is for exclusive, it does harm more than the benefit. Because they didn't mind it, they went on speaking. Therefore, many people said, चलो कोई वेद नहीं है, कोई वेदांत नहीं है, कोई उपनिषद नहीं है, कोई पूजा उपासना नहीं है, फिर क्या है? खाना खाओ, टीवी देखो, सो जाओ. People got misguided. This Upanishad is that way complete. इसमें वो रुथलेसनेस रिजेक्शन नहीं है ऑफ द उपासना. वो कहते हैं इसका भी जरूरत है. शुरू से ही हो रहा था वो इन दिस उपनिषद. ओके, सो इदानीं तत्प्रसादात् एव इष्ट प्राप्ति ही अनिष्ट परिहारौ इति मत्वा तमेव परमेश्वरं प्रार्थयते मंत्रद्वयेन. एंड व्हाट इज दैट फर्स्ट मंत्र? ओम अजात इत्येवं कश्चिद् भीरुः प्रपद्यते रुद्रयत्ते दक्षिणं मुखं तेन मां पाहि नित्यं. वन्स मोर. अजात इत्येवं कश्चिद् भीरुः प्रपद्यते रुद्रयत्ते दक्षिणं मुखं तेन मां पाहि नित्यं. So in this so much of emotion, poetry, devotion, love, faith, everything are there. It is one shloka, I can talk for 4 days, एक घंटा. Because सब भक्ति शास्त्र पूरा इसमें. Anyway, the literal meaning of it, word to word meaning is Ajata means the Lord is understood as Ajata, etc. In saying the word Ajata, all the glories of Paramatma are done, called as Stuti. Iti evam, having understood the Lord to be so much powerful, potential, glorious, kind, compassionate, that's the meaning of Ajata iti evam. Kaschit bhiruhu prapadyate. Some bhiruhu, some frightened fellow, timid fellow, surrender to the God. Who is that frightened, timid fellow? Me only. What is the meaning of all of that? We'll see in the Bhashyam. Then what is the way of prapatti? How do we do? Rudra vocative. O Lord Rudra, yatate dakshinam mukham, your dakshina mukha, tena mam pahi nityam. With that your dakshina mukha, always you protect me. Then add all the masala of the devotion in that. हे भगवान, आपके करुणामय कृपामय कल्याणमय दृष्टि से देख कर मुझ इसे नीच निकृष्ट यूजलेस भक्त का तुम कल्याण करो. All that masala you can add. Then all your original things, मैं निकम्मा हूँ, मैं यूजलेस हूँ, मैं गुड फॉर नथिंग हूँ, मैं बेवकूफ हूँ, मैं गधा हूँ, फिर भी आपका बेटा हूँ, है आपका संतान हूँ, आप ना ये मजबूरी उठाओ कि मेरी रक्षा करो. You know, you can add that Mam Pahi Nityam, isn't it? Phati Purani Phati Charhu mein, you help me, you bless me. So all that is there in this mantra. But that is required, but not all the time. Devotion in the beginning can be beggary. Later on, devotion should be a responsibility. Later on, devotion should be an audacity. Yes, I am your devotee. You are blessing with all paths. I am using them only to serve you. Hanuman ji ki tarah. Hanuman ji's bhakti, sharanagati, deenata is not slavery or beggary. Aha. There is emotion. Emotion is a essence and heart of the devotion. उसका अलग parlance है, context. But there is no slavery or beggary. यहाँ भगवान के महिमा का ग्लोरिफिकेशन है. Compared to him, we are very small. So facts are said there. There is no beggary in that, isn't it? It is a different relation, less relation between the true mature devotee and Bhagwan. Some of them, if time permits, we'll discuss tomorrow. Om 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Paramashibhyo Parabrahmane Shrutimatre Namaha Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Your patient audience gives encouragement every day. Thank you.